Dusty May, head coach of the three votes for first place in the conference preseason, Michigan Wolverines. Got to remind people of that, Cart. You were very upset that Michigan got 3 out of 28 votes for first place in the league, weren't you?
Yeah, I think in a contest where it's preseason and doing who should be I think that producing a world of their own.
I agree. The team that was 5 games off of where your team finished last season and went a combined 1-3 against our two teams is in a league of their own. I agree. I digress. Dusty May at the podium likes his team, asked about his rival. We know things got spicy at the end of last season with the logo general, who has now taken his talents and his bank account to the greater North Carolina area. But don't forget that Spartan legend defended tradition, and Dusty May had something to say about it. Anyways, Dusty, on a serious note, was asked about Michigan State. I'm going to read you the full quote because there was one line of this quote that I think everyone saw and heard. He basically stole the classic, I respect him, but I don't like him. That's all it was. This was the full quote. There's an element of this that's more interesting that hasn't been covered. Quote, the Michigan State rivalry, it was much better before I came into the league, Dusty May said, laughing at the podium. There's a lot to be made of our rivalry. He put on a masterclass last year. The job that he and his staff did was one of the better coaching jobs that I've seen. And once again, I thought they had really, really good players. Those guys, you could tell it, they came together and did something special. So I'll leave it at that. But you can't have anything but respect for their program. Do I like them? Hell no. But do I respect them? Absolutely. End quote. That last one liner is the one that made the rounds. We've heard Tom Izzo say those exact words before. I don't think that's a surprise. He said Tom Izzo put on a master class last year. One of the better coaching jobs that I've ever seen. Do you take that at face value as a genuine compliment? What are your thoughts?
I do, but I'm interested to know it from your point of view because I think you and I view Dusty differently as far as like his mental makeup. Like I think that Dusty is a great guy. I think that Dusty is the type that he's the guy in the commercial when the ball goes off his hand and the ref calls it the wrong way. He's like in the huddle, like, I touched the ball, coach, and goes and tells the ref he touched the ball. And I think he's also a good basketball coach at the same time. So I think that Dusty, the way he is, he's just like an overall nice guy, and that's kind of what he's doing here. Do you think he was talking about like the season as a whole, Tom Izzo's coaching job, or just the season in the rivalry?
Season as a whole. Yeah.
Okay, because the rivalry honestly wasn't that much of a masterclass by Tom Izzo in my opinion. We just like broke y'all spirit and y'all didn't want to fight back. That wasn't even a masterclass. That was just
I think it's
a
hard
little
to
bit of
act like Tom Izzo
little
doesn't
belt.
deserve credit for that, though.
Oh, he deserves credit for that, but I don't think it was a masterclass. I think we showed up and put belt. Like it wasn't really a masterclass, it was just showing up. But
Better team
yeah,
one.
I think Dusty's being truthful by saying this. Because I think anyone says that last year by Michigan State was one of Tom Izzo's better coaching jobs.
Right. Okay. Better team won last year, the 2 games. That's what happened, right? Like that's like you're basically saying Tom Izzo, it wasn't a masterclass to beat Michigan. The better team swept the worst team.
No, not even that.
I'd
Because I
be
think you can
okay
make an
if that
argument.
is what you're saying. For the record, Michigan State was better than Michigan last year. They won 2 games. That happens. Dion, how's your job going?
Beginning of the school year, everything's like a little up and down. One of the biggest issues we've had is we can't find any uniforms for our girls' sports teams.
Mm, that's a difficult thing to find a solution for. I know damn well all about that because I got a daughter that just turned 2. She's into sports and she's already outgrowing every little piece of sports apparel she had. Thankfully, I know Clara Kate Creations. Clara Kate Creations was started by a former high school teacher who quit because it wasn't cost effective to send new twins and a 2-year-old to daycare. She found it easier to make girl sports apparel than finding it to buy. And I am so thankful that she exists because if we have an old shirt of Murph's that she's outgrown, we can send it in and she takes that piece of apparel that means something and upcycles it into an outfit that Murphy can now wear as she grows up. She makes great stuff. It's honestly kind of like your fullback's wife, Kyle Juszczyk. Is that how you say it? She does that. But honestly, I think Clara Kate's coming for Mrs. Juszczyk's job.
I love that. I'm a big Juice guy. Love his wife. Love Claire Kate even more than both of them, though.
You can send in your own custom ideas and she will come up with a design. She's just the best. Look up Clara Kate Creations on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and more. That doesn't have to be like a coaching all-timer accomplishment for that to like the better team swept the worst team. To me, that's what happened when the two
I
teams
think
played.
I think in the fashion it happened, it's not like a master. Like in my opinion, if Michigan State was the worst team and won, that would be a master class because like the worst team won. But also it's a rivalry, so I don't even know if you could master class your way in rivalries. That's
Well,
all it
that
is.
that kind of leads to my point here. You could absolutely interpret it as that. It's a master class if the worst team swept the better team. It's one of the best coaching jobs I've ever seen. If a team whose roster is nowhere near as good as being Big Ten champions wins the Big Ten by 3 games, right? Now, I'm interpreting what Dusty's trying to say. I'm not speaking for myself. Let me speak for myself for a moment. It's absolutely undeniably true that last season was a masterclass and one of the best coaching jobs I've ever seen, right? Wouldn't we both agree with that? We both came on here in March like, I don't think Tom Izzo ever had a better season coaching than last year. What he did, deploying the 10 deep rotation, he actually filled some holes with the transfer portal. He banked on some guys to get a lot better. They did get better. He made the flip to Jace late in the season. Other than like not going to Jace quick enough early, there's nothing to criticize. The guy was sensational. He should have been the coach of the year. That's been my stance all along. Now, if you want more quantifiable measurements of, why was it such an impressive coaching job? Here's how you quantify it. They won the Big Ten by 3 games with zero all conference players. Zero. Right? Now, we could go back and debate that Jace deserved to be there, but the reality is, like, on a league where 10 guys were named a first team All Big Ten, Michigan State didn't have one of the 10 best players in the league and won the league by 3 games. I've never seen that happen. You could go through the last 20 years of the Big Ten and flip the yearbook and look at who won the league. They always have one of the best players. The championship team always does. Last year's did not. And again, part of it is Jace. Jace should have been that. He wasn't that because of the role for a little bit. He just didn't put up the numbers. So, look, in the end, when I remember last season, I will remember that Jace was the most unstoppable player in the league. That's how I'll remember it. And in the end, Tom Izzo deserves credit. But I'll also remember it as a group of guys that I picked like ninth in the league, that I didn't think were any good, that were way better than everyone. And by the end of the year, I realized it and fell in love with watching them. So I think it's like what Dusty's saying, I think is honest. I think it's accurate. And I also do think it's a little bit of a petty, subtle, subliminal shot because Dusty is like the friend you have in high school where your parents can kind of tell you shouldn't be hanging out with him. And like when you bring him home to the crib and you're like, just yeah, we're gonna go out, we're gonna go get some food or something. He's like over the top nice to the parents. Like he makes sure he shakes your dad's hand. He makes sure he hugs the mom. He's like going out of his way to ask questions about their work week. And it's all for show. Because as soon as you get in that car, this kid's a demon and has plans that your parents would not approve of, right? Like that's Dusty to me. He's a silent psychopath. Ask Brad Underwood. Ask Jake Diebler. He's been stealing players from guys in this. He tried to get Braden Smith, but at the podium, he'll put the smile on and be as complimentary as possible of guys like this. So you can define that however you want. But to me, it was some choice words here. It's honest. It was a masterclass. And also, it's Dusty subliminally trying to say, did you see that roster he won the league with? Like, how did he do that? That roster wasn't any good. That's how I interpret that quote.
But by saying that, is he saying that Tom Izzo's a better coach?
Last year, undeniably, he was. Undeniably.
That's all I need.
Stuffed Dusty in a locker twice.
That's all I need.